You are listening to the BOBcast, a golfing podcast, brought to you by the Open Times. Welcome to the Open Times BOBcast, episode 11, available on our website, Apple, Spotify, Google, and almost everywhere you can find podcasts. I'm Stephen Day, thankful for my experts Keith McIntyre and George Graham for keeping me on the fairway and avoiding most of the bunkers. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Stevie.
Hi, Stevie.
How are you doing today?
All good, yeah, all good.
Golf, how are we?
No golf for me at the weekend. I mean, the weather was absolutely horrendous anyway, apart from anything else, but no golf for me at the weekend.
Well, I played on Sunday, which I instantly regretted because I'd been moving my daughter. She was moving house Friday, Saturday, and I'd been humping fridges and washing machines all day Friday and Saturday. And boy, did I feel it on Sunday. So I played, but I was, in fact, I'm still extremely sore from that. So sometimes you forget you're not 30 anymore, you're closer to 60. So I played. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Bob News, how's he been getting on?
It's a pretty disappointing weekend, all in all. A bit of a double whammy. He made the cut at the Qatar Masters. Actually, I watched him on Friday afternoon, and he was at one point he was in danger of missing the cut, but he dug quite deep and managed to make the cut. But then he didn't have a great weekend. Saturday morning he started pretty brightly, went out in 33, but then nothing much happened. And then Sunday, less said the better. He started with 4 bogeys in the first 5 holes and never really recovered. So although he made the cut, he finished 61st, joint 61st, so it was a bit of a disappointment for him. What I saw on Friday, his putter was stone cold. He actually played quite well on Friday, he just couldn't hole a putt. So he'll be slightly disappointed with that. And then a bit of a blow when it was announced at the end of last week that his next tournament, which is in Kenya, the Kenyan Open, has been postponed, cancelled, I guess, because of the coronavirus. So that was a real opportunity for him to make up some world ranking points, and it's not going to be there. So it's going to be a real struggle for him now to make the Masters. He's still sitting at 67 in the world, but effectively he's only got one competition now to try and get into the Masters, which is towards the end of March, which is the World Golf Championship match play. That'll be tough. That'll be really tough for him to make up 17 places and get into the Masters. So all in all, a pretty disappointing weekend, but it's almost sort of difficult second album syndrome with him after last year. It's always going to be a bit of a struggle to match those, but it's very early in the season, and there's still a long way to go. So we'll see how it goes on when he goes over to Texas.
It's very early in his career as well. I mean, I'm sure he would love to have been in the Masters this year, but these opportunities, he's going to have years of these opportunities, so hopefully he's not too disheartened and sort of looking at the bigger picture. Yeah,
I thought it was a really, really smart comment from his management company about the cancellation in Kenya. They obviously will have been disappointed, but they handled that with a lot of dignity and said, there's much bigger things going on than a game of golf, which I thought was very dignified of them.
I mean, not to make light of it, because obviously the coronavirus is affecting all sporting, or looks like it's going to affect all sporting, so it's not that it gives anybody an advantage or a disadvantage, it's just less time for some people to catch up.
Yeah
It's got potentially, really big consequences in the world of sort of football and sports where they need big crowds, because they're going to be, if they start forcing games to be played, for instance, in closed stadiums, the players will still need paid, but you wouldn't have that influx of income coming in to kind of balance the books. So if they start doing that, it's the consequences of that are just as they are across, not just sport, quite in business world and actually obviously health, but it could be potentially quite a big problem for sport.
This is all getting way too serious, Stevie. Can you not give us some NASA-related nonsense?
I don't have any NASA-related nonsense this week.
Like what you get through last week. No more NASA.
He's not the only one that looks like he might be missing out, because I gather the good old Tiger Woods has a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker because he's obviously pulled out of the Players' Championship this week, and I know you'll be aware of this, Stevie, but the Players' Championship is looked on as the fifth major. It's the unofficial fifth major, and it's the one they all want to play in.
Yes, I knew that, obviously.
Yes, I knew you knew that. And for Tiger to pull out of that, it's not something you would do lightly. If it had been an ordinary tournament, I could have seen, okay, he's been ultra cautious. It's a big decision to pull out the Players' Championship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've discussed Bob, but I mean, what's next, barring world plague, alien invasion, active volcanoes? I mean, what does he have to do now if he wants to get into that position?
He will. You've got the World Golf Championship, Match Play Championship coming up on the 26th, I think it is, of March, which is, well, technically it's open to the top 64 in the world. Now, Bob's currently sitting at 67, but inevitably there will be some people in the top 64 that will call off. So as it stands just now, he'll almost certainly be playing in that. Now, if he goes ahead and wins that, or probably if he gets in the top 4 or 5, he will have a fair chance of getting into the world's top 50, but that's a long shot. That really is a long shot because it's the top 60 odd golfers in the world there. But there's something about Bob that I would think match play would suit his style of play because he's very attacking, whereas a bogey can it can damage you quite a lot in stroke play. Or a double bogey, you can very quickly make up for that in match play. So who knows what he'll be like if he's drawn against a Rory McIlroy. You never know. He's got a puncher's chance.
And is there anyone else in the same position as him that's going to be missing out due to Kenya?
Oh, there'll be a number of players that are missing out because of that. Basically any of the European Tour guys that are between 51 and probably about 80 or 90 in the world will be missing out in that. So there'll be a fair few.
His nemesis Kurt still on his shoulder, isn't he? He never seems to be far away from him.
Yeah, they're only about 2 places apart in the world rankings, yeah.
Well, to replace NASA, I have been looking into golfing tech, because you know me, that's my job, I like tech.
You sent us some of your pictures of your golfing tech.
Well, that was some of my ancient golfing tech. Rangefinders, I've just found out about these nice little devices that you look through, press a button, fires a laser off, hits a ball, hits a pin or something else, and comes back and tells you how far away it is. Now, years ago I'd have loved this in my previous existence as a shepherd on the hill with my sheep and my dog, and find out quite how far away they were and when they're likely to get back.
I don't think you're allowed to hit golf balls at sheep, Stevie.
Probably not. We shouldn't discuss that. How useful are these? I mean, is this the kind of thing you guys have got in your kit?
I've never used one. I'm sure you've used one.
I've never used a rangefinder. I've got a GPS watch which gives you distances to the front, middle and back of the green and to bunkers and things like that. And they're great. I mean, they really are good, and they help you know how far you hit each club if you hit it properly. Rangefinders, I have to say, I would just ban them from the amateur game, because you've got these guys playing off 25, 26 handicaps, spending 2 minutes staring at the flag, saying, I've got 180 yards to go, I'll hit a 6-iron, and they've never hit a 6-iron 180 yards in their life. To me, they just slow down play. I mean, it's fine if you've got a GPS watch and you just have a quick glance and it says I've got 130 to go, and you can make a judgment from there. But rangefinders, an amateur, high handicap or medium to high handicap golf, I think are just slow the game down, and we're trying to speed the game up.
George?
No, I've never used a bit like Keith. I've never even looked through a rangefinder. I know a couple of players that have got them. One of my sort of playing buddies, John Plunkett, he got one for his birthday or Christmas off his daughter. But I think he still prefers his watch. He's got the GPS watch. I think he probably feels a bit stupid sort of standing the course looking through these things. You
do. I mean, it's a bit like the sat nav in your car. Sometimes common sense goes out the window. The car's telling you to turn right, and you see, if I turn right, I'm going to drive into the sea, but you would still do it. There's been a number of times, even with my watch, if there's any alterations to the course, it jumps forward. If you've finished the 8th, it will then jump forward to the 9th. But very occasionally it malfunctions, and it'll keep you on the 8th. So you're playing the 9th, you look at your watch, it says you've got 130 yards to go. common sense tells you that can't be right. I've got about 200 yards to go. You still hit a 9-iron and wonder why you're 50 yards short, and you go, oh, my watch is still on the 8th, I should move it forward to the 9th. So sometimes they stop a little bit of common sense coming into the game.
Are they used a lot in this country, or is it another one of these things that it's an American thing that is bigger over there?
No, I think they're used quite a lot in this. Watches, I mean, I would say probably in my sweep, in my club, probably 50-60% of the guys have got watches. Very few have got rangefinders, I have to say.
How about golf ball finders?
I don't even know what that is, Steve.
Well, it surprised me, but these little units can track a golf ball up to 100 metres away from you. But they can only do it if you bought the finder that works with the golf balls, so I think they're quite expensive. So you hit one of these balls into the rough, and then you can wander over with it and go beep, 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 and eventually you'll find it.
Right.
I can see from both your faces.
I think the problem with these is probably the ball will have the tracker inside it.
Yeah.
And I can't see serious golfers, or even semi-serious golfers, not wanting to be playing with a proper golf ball. If that thing that's inside it, I think they would. I can't imagine kids, for instance, sitting on the.
It's not the thing inside that goes beep, obviously.
No, I know, but I mean, the tracker must be inside the ball.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine players who, like Keith, believe that they're good.
Thanks, George.
The very thought there was something in that ball that wasn't just the same as a Pro V or whatever. I don't think they would hit it.
Has anyone ever tried to sell you magic beans, Stevie?
I thought a golf finder. There's a guy in Glen Cruton's got a golf ball finder. It's a black Labrador.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of guys at our course that wander about with their dogs and try and sell you bags of used golf balls.
Well, I suspect that perhaps it's not all that's made up to be, given that the manufacturer claims that 500 million golf balls lost every week, and that compared to our figure last week of 10 million a year, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where they got that from.
I have to say, when George came out with that figure, I'd googled it, and I'd got a figure of 300 million, but I didn't want to correct George on air and make him look like an idiot, so I've left it to this week to make him look like an idiot.
Well, I think, did we not work out, and I was looking back at my notes to find out what we could. Well, I guessed at how many people were playing golf at any one time. And to lose 500 million golf balls in a week, everybody would need to be losing about 20 each.
I've seen you play, George.
Everybody would need to play as badly as me.
I think if we have environmental problems and we were losing 500 million golf balls every day or every week, that would be the cause for concern, not diesel vehicles. Right, well, I was in St Andrews this weekend, and it was a bit cold, a little bit windy, and I was standing down by the old course, looking out to sea, and I thought, do you know, that would be really good to do a BOBcast from here, but it was cold outside, so I sent my daughter with a microphone.
Hello, my name is Megan Day, and I'm currently standing on the old course at St Andrews. You can see a few early bird golfers on this chilly Sunday morning, getting ready to tee up so they can play a nice round of golf. We just saw a golfer take a good shot. It was quite windy though, but it was a reasonably straight shot. This is a truly unique experience for me, as I've never been here before, but I've been to St Andrews many times. I at some point would like to play on this course, but I would need to get more experience to do so. It's quite a windy day today, and you can see the skyline of St Andrews and the dunes dancing in the background. And just over that you can see the horizon of the blue sea on this nice day. I'm Megan Day at St Andrews Old Course, on location for the BOBcast.
That was much more professional than you, Stevie.
I have to say, she actually said as if she knew what she was doing.
She did. But maybe that should be a wee series. When you guys are out at a golf course, maybe you can do a wee recording for us to describe what you can see.
I was slightly concerned where I thought she had said the gin is dancing in the background, but I think she actually said the dunes are dancing in the background.
Definitely the dunes are dancing in the background. Right, silly question of the week, I suppose. But I sent you two a couple of photos of some golf clubs I found in St Andrews attic. Have I found an Antiques Roadshow moment of immense value that will change my life, or was I quite right just to use them to lever some fiberglass insulation back into place?
Well, I hope you didn't. No, I'm only kidding on. One of them looked quite interesting. I couldn't quite read what it said on it. The one that had Rustless Machi Niblik, but I couldn't make out what the name was on it.
No, I couldn't make out what the scroll
Clade
text
or something
was.
like
Clade
that.
or something like that.
It did look interesting. Another one I'm pretty certain is just you could leave her all the fiberglass insulation you wanted to put with it.
I just like the name of it. I think having a golf club called an Avenger is very butch.
Very exciting. There was a wood there once upon a time, but all that's there is the shaft, and it looks like something's nibbled the end off. So
Take it to a local club pro and see if he'll repair it for you.
I think a local club pros in Glasgow.
I think they'd just laugh at me.
No, I definitely think that the one that's got Rustless Machi Niblik would be worth looking at. I had a quick look on eBay. No, that gives you any idea of what these things are valued at, but it did look an interesting club.
Well, I'm just back from Budapest, and I reckon they're worth about 100,000 florins, but that's about a fiver, Stevie. So,
Oh well, looks like I'm coming back next week. And the final question of the day: what is a mulligan?
it shouldn't even be allowed. It's not something. I mean, a mulligan is effectively if you have an absolute duff shot, you can just agree that it doesn't count. It's completely against the spirit of the game. I've never ever played with anyone who uses mulligans, but I think it's quite a big thing in the States, where if they just top the ball 10 yards, they'll say, I'll take a mulligan. I believe you're supposed to agree before you start a game the number of mulligans that you're allowed in a game, but if I tried that at my course, I would be run off the premises very, very quickly. Have you ever played with mulligans?
No, I haven't. No, I can't ever recall doing that.
No, it's basically cheating.
Well, to my mind, it meant that, if I were to start playing golf with you guys, I could, slice the ball 3 or 4 times and call it a mulligan each time until I eventually arrived on the fairway.
George would still beat you.
Of that, there is no doubt. Well, that's us for this week, but we're looking forward to Bob being back on the 26th, did you say?
26th of March at the World Golf Championship match play. Yep.
Excellent.
In Austin, Texas.
Are you guys going to get some golf in this weekend?
I'm down to play on Saturday morning, so hopefully weather permitting.
I'm going to try, and depending where I am on the weekend, try and get out on Sunday, but again, weather permitting.
Well, weather permitting, if you happen to be out with your microphones and your little phones.
Well, Steve, it's a major faux pas to take a phone on the golf course.
Okay, well, I'll mention that to Megan when we get home. Guys, thanks very much.
Cheers, Stevie. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. If you've got a golfing question or just want to get in touch for the next episode, then email BOBcast@obentimes.co.uk or send us a message through Facebook.